Okay, grade 8. We are now learning. This was last week's lesson. For those of you, excuse me, for those of you who are still struggling with doing prime factorization, we did this the whole of last week. Okay, so the heading is prime factorization. September 6th, because today is when I'm doing the video. What is a prime number? See, it says prime factorization. You need prime numbers. And then factor. Factor means numbers that you multiply. So in prime factorization, you're only going to look for numbers that you will multiply that will give you a given question. Okay? So, what is a prime number? A prime number is a number that has only two factors, 1 and itself. Okay? If it has more than two factors, then it is not a prime number. Prime numbers only have two factors. I gave you examples. Examples of prime numbers: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and 19. Okay? But it doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop here. There is more prime factors. More prime numbers. Now, how do I know factors of 2? Which numbers can I multiply to give me 2? Only 1 and 2. And how many factors are these? These are only two factors, 1 and itself. How many factors of 3? There's only two factors of 3, because these are the only two numbers I can multiply to give me 3. Okay? So that is why 3 is a prime number. The same with 19. There's only two factors of 19, that is 1 and 19. There's only two numbers you can multiply to give you 19. Only 1 and 19. No other number can you multiply will give you 19. Okay? Now, you should know all the prime numbers between 0 and 100. All of them you should know. Like this, like the way you say your name. If I ask you, give me all the prime numbers between 0 and 100, you should be able to tell me all of them. So I have written them here: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89, and 97. All these are the prime numbers between 0 and 100. Okay. Now, let's do the first one. Find the prime factorization of 9. When you're doing prime factorization, you cannot use decimals in your work. I should not see decimals in your work. You should only use whole numbers. No decimals. You should know your times table. Otherwise, you will not be successful. So when you're doing prime factorization, do not use 1. Do not use decimals. These are the two things I should not see in your factor tree. Okay? Now, let us look for the prime factorization of 9. 9 is gotten by multiplying 3 times 3. Do you see that? The question was 9, and then I asked myself, what two numbers can I multiply that will give me 9? 3 times 3. Okay? Then, why did I circle them? Because 3 is in this list. If your numbers are in this list, you will put them in a circle. If your numbers are not in this list, you will put them in a square. Okay? All right. So 3 times 3, I wrote it over there. And because it is the same, I will write it as an exponent to the power of 2. Okay? I will write it as a power using the exponent 2. So that is how you do the prime factorization. These two are the answers to this question. So when I ask you what's the prime factorization of 9, you will say 3 times 3, or you will say 3 squared. That's the answer. This is your work. Okay, let's look for prime factorization of 12. What two numbers can you multiply that will give you 12? 2 and 6. 2 times 6 or 3 times 4. Both of them give you 12. So let us look over here. 2 is circled because 2 is in the prime number list. 6 is in a square because 6 is not here. You see, 6 is not here, so that is why we put it in a square. The number you put in the square, you have to break it down more. So, 2 times 3. Then your answer is all the numbers in the circle. Your answer comes from the circles, not from the square. Okay? So, 2 times 2 times 3. Then you write it over there. 2's are repeating 2 times, so 2 to the power of 2 times 3. I did over here 3 times 4. 4 is not a prime number, so 4 will be in a square. 3 is a prime number, so I will put it in a circle. Then I will break down 4. How do I break down 4? Which two numbers did I multiply that give me 4, 2, and 2? 2 times 2. And then I write them over there. 2 is repeating itself 2 times, so I'll write 2 to the power of 2 times 3. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's do 96. Okay? 96. I told you must know your times table. Since 96 is an even number, I know 2 can go inside it. So then I ask myself, 2 times what gives me 96? 2 times 48 gives me 96. Okay? Then, how did I know 2 times what? So I did 96 divided by 2, it gave me 48. So that's how I know 2 times 96. Sorry, 2 times 48 gives me 96. 2 is a prime number. 48 is not a prime number, so it will become a square. Then I break it down. 48 is an even number, so I know 2 can go inside. What two numbers can I multiply that will give me 48? 2 and 24. And then I continue. 2 is a prime number, I circle. 24 is not a prime number because it is not here. You see 23, then I go to 29. 24 is not a prime number, so I continue. Then I do 2 times 12. 2 is a prime number, I circle. 12 is not, I put it in a square. I continue. I break it down. 2 times 6 is 12. 6 is not a prime number. I put it in a square. I circle 2 because it's a prime number. Like that. So then my answer is all the numbers I have in a circle. All of them. This we call the factor tree. Okay? Now, how many 2's do I have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wrote 5 2's and 1 3. And that is how I write my exponent. Like that. And remember, it is multiplication, not add, multiplication. So I did it a different way. I said 4 times 24 gives me 96. Then 4 and 24 are both not prime. So both of them will go into a square. Then I break down 4. I got 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 and 2 are prime. I circle. I break down 24. 4 times 6. Both of them are not prime. I put them in a square. I break down 4. I get 2 and 2. I break down 6. I get 2 times 3. How many 2's are in a circle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I write them out. I like using the star. Okay? So, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, there's 5 of them, and 1, 3. So 2 to the 5th power times 3 is the answer. Now let us look at the prime factorization of 210. 210 is 21 times 10. 21 and 10 are not prime numbers. There is no 21 and there is no 10. Okay? So since they're not prime numbers, put them in a square. How do we get 21 when we multiply? 7 times 3. 7 is a prime number. It is there. 3 is a prime number. It is there. So you circle them. 2 times 5 gives you 10. 2 and 5 are prime numbers. I circle them. And I put them in order. When you're writing your answer, you must write your factors in order from least to greatest. I don't want to see 7, 5, 2, like, no. It has to be in order from least to greatest. Okay? So we've done that. Okay? Let us look at a negative when you've been given a negative number. So you have negative 36. How do you get negative 36? Negative 6 times 6 gives you 36. If your question is a negative, one of your box must be, one of these two factors must be negative. One of them, not both of them, one. So, negative 6 and 6 are not prime numbers, so you break them down. How do you get negative 6? Negative 2 times 3. How do you get 6? 2 times 3. Remember, I told you, you write them from least to greatest. The negative number is always the smallest. The negative number is always the least. So, negative 2, then you followed by these 2, then 3, then 3. Then I wrote them in exponents. If you put this in the calculator, you should get negative 36. If you put this in the calculator, you should get negative 36. That is how you check your work. You put these numbers you have written over here in the calculator and make sure you get this. Okay, so how else can I do negative 36? I can do negative 36 by doing negative 4 multiplied by 9. Negative 4 and 9 are both not prime numbers. So then break down negative 4. Negative 2 times 2, you break down 9, 3 times 3. All these are prime numbers. You arrange them from least to greatest. The 2's will come in front, starting with the negative. And then you write your exponents. Okay? Then we'll find this question. Find the prime factorization of 7. Now, 7 is on the list of your prime numbers. Where is my prime numbers? Here. 7 is in the list of prime numbers. If you are over here in this list, you will write this sentence. We cannot do prime factorization. We cannot do prime factorization of 7 because 7 is a prime number. If your question is a prime number, then you will write this sentence. We can find the prime factorization of negative 23. We cannot do prime factorization of negative 23 because negative 23 is a prime number. So that is how you do prime factorization. You must know this. You must know how to identify how if a number is prime and if a number is not prime. You must know.